are deeply divided a day before voting in a referendum that could determine the country's future. European officials warn if the no camp wins out, Greece will end up crashing out of the Eurozone. A new poll conducted by Ipsos shows just how close the two sides are. The yes supporters lead by 44%, but the no camp came in at 43%. Earlier today, the Greek finance minister said Europe would lose $1 trillion if it allowed the Greek economy to collapse. Germany's finance minister says, quote, whether with the euro or temporarily without it, only the Greeks can answer this question, and it is clear that we will not leave the people in the lurch. The Greek Prime Minister is rejecting pressure from his country's creditors and he's urging his people to vote no. Richard Quest joins me now live from Athens. And Richard, even if Alexis Tsipras gets his way and the people vote no, he won't actually necessarily get given better terms by the Europeans, will he?
We don't really know. That's what he's banking on. He is hoping that by getting this no vote, this is the card he can take to Brussels and say, my people are behind me and they are against what you are trying to do. Now negotiate better terms. That's the risk. The other side say nothing. The other side say, no, Mr. Tsipras, what will happen is the Europeans will say, well, you've made your own bed. We're not giving you better terms. And since you're bankrupt, you'll be out of the euro. That's the situation. And I think most Greek people know that that's the situation. And, you know, as I was walking around here today, just talking to people in shops, everybody asks me what I think the result's going to be. I've no idea. I ask them, and they simply say they've no idea.
It's fair to say that even if the no vote wins, Greece could potentially still stay in the Eurozone.
Absolutely. It relies on the other countries deciding to go along with whatever Greece has decided. It relies on the Europeans say, OK, your people have voted no, we now have to do a better deal for you. Tsipras has said that's his policy. It's a risky policy because it could backfire, and there is a prevalent view, it must be said, there is a prevalent view that a no vote, not immediately, but maybe after a week or two or three of negotiations, maybe a month or two later, a no vote could start the painful and long process towards a Greek exit of the Eurozone.
We know the economy there is already really weak. 25% of the population is unemployed, and if you look at youth unemployment rate, it's 60%. Just explain the reality for us, for the people of Greece who can't even access the money that's in their banks.
Well, if you've got benefits and pensions, you have to go to one of the branches unless you've got a card. That's become very difficult, hence the picture that we saw of the pensioner overnight who, having been to 4 banks and wasn't able to get his pension, finally sat on the ground in tears. And then you've got those who are unemployed, and they basically say, listen, everything's gone wrong, we've nothing to really work for or hope for, so we might as well vote no, because at the end of the day, it's better that we are the authors of our own austerity and economic misfortune than relying on the Europeans. And that's what we heard in this square last night. Tsipras basically saying to his people, let yourselves decide. You be the judges of this. Don't hand it over to Brussels or to Berlin or to any of the other members of the Euro group.